So let me just introduce today, Johnny DiCarlo Meatballs.
Woo!
Alright folks, I'm going to make Johnny's meatballs today. Step-by-step process. The first step in the process is the onions. Right here I got a little bit of butter and olive oil. Got the screen there, you see me up there?
Yes, I do.
Okay. A little butter and olive oil coming to a melt right here in this pan. And we have a diced onion, a diced yellow onion. Throw it right in there.
Uh-huh.
And what I do, I saute the onion till it gets nice and not totally caramelized, but we want it to reduce down and get sweet. I don't throw the raw onions right into the mix. I let them cook first. That's my little secret. Now what we have is the mixing bowl. We take a nice mixing bowl. The veal. I got a pound of each here. Right, about a pound of each. The beef.
Oh, yeah.
And the pork. The Holy Trinity, as I call it. My meatballs of veal, pork, and beef. Okay, we have here some plain breadcrumbs that go into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And some Pecorino Romano cheese. I do, if I'm doing, let me give you the measurements. I do 1 cup of a combined breadcrumbs and cheese. So it's half a cup of each per pound. So if everybody wants a breakdown per, because as I said, this is 1 pound each here. I'm just doing a demonstration just to show you the ingredients that go in. You can get the exact recipe online. I have all of my information in the front there along with the meatballs, so you can look up the recipe step by step and see the exact measurements of what goes into it. And maybe we could print some of those out if possible. We get that up in hard for us. I got my cards and information. So here's some garlic here.
Oh, yeah.
And this is my special 10-spice blend. This is my own proprietary blend of spices. Salt, pepper, oregano, basil, garlic powder, 5 other spices that I don't reveal. Get the idea. See that?
Yes.
And the last thing is, of course, onions. Jim's going to throw them into the glass chiller. We'll be able to mix them in a second. Does anybody have any questions about meatballs or Italian American culture or anything? Yes, ma'am.
80, 85, 93, is there a difference?
About 80-20 most of the time is the percentage as far as that goes. And it's always equal parts veal, pork, beef. Anybody else? Yes.
Any tips to prevent them from falling apart? Because lately my meatballs have been falling apart in the gravy.
You know, it's funny you say that, and I actually forgot a key ingredient, which is eggs.
Yeah.
There it is. Thank you for that.
Oh, nice.
You have to put eggs in your meatball mix.
I just
and
didn't
I
get to
mean,
it yet. It was forgot.
some people say if you put too much eggs, they become, too hard. But my trick, when I know that they're perfect to roll, is when this is mixed together. If you could pick up the whole mix as a whole, then it's ready to roll into balls. So you'll see what I mean in a second when I start mixing it up. You don't want to overmix or undermix. Oh, it looks good. Yeah, that'd be great. My helper cracking the eggs. Fantastic. No shells, be careful. You can find me on Facebook, Johnny Meatballs. I'm actually working on a YouTube web series right now with a very good friend of mine, Chef Sergio of Calandras in Fairfield. We're going to be traveling around to different Italian establishments, doing it on Facebook and YouTube, and hopefully Food Network or somewhere else eventually. You can check that out. Cooking Cuisines is the name of that. And I got a lot of different projects in the works. So always just find me on Facebook, Twitter, Johnny Meatballs. Just Google Johnny Meatballs and you'll find all the information. And she's gonna go in with the onions. Well, we'll mix together. We'll get in there. Want to get in there together? Make cooking a family affair, folks. Do it with your spouse, with your kids. I have 2 kids. They're always in the kitchen helping. Here we go. Everything in there nice. And then we're gonna roll them. I do about 2.5 to 3 ounce meatballs. You can scoop, yeah, absolutely. We'll see how close we get to each other. This is like, you know, the size I like right here.
Oh yeah.
Let's see how it compares.
It's very similar. Yours is a little bigger.
A little, you know, similar, but we're going to make them a little bit smaller today because these are going to be complimentary on the house. You'll all enjoy them. As soon as we cook them, we're going to get them into the oven. Now let's talk about the cooking method. When I make the meatballs for my wife and kids at home on a Sunday, if I'm only doing about a dozen, I usually fry them in the frying pan with a little olive oil before I put them into the pot of sauce or gravy, whatever you call it. But being that I do this professionally and I'm usually making about 300-400 meatballs at a time, I bake them in the oven, and I find that the way to achieve the frying method is I bake them at 350 for the first 10 minutes. Then I lower the oven temperature to about 325, even 300. It all depends on your own settings of your oven. And I let it finish off for the last 22 minutes at the lower temperature. By doing that, you achieve that exterior crust as if you were frying. Yes? When I bake them, I generally just do pan spray. I spray it down, or we have these professional baking mats today, fat patios. Available, I assume, here at Chef Central, so you can get those.
Everything's available.
Everything's available at Chef Central.
Including any of the associates you see there, you can hire them.
Any other questions, audience? Saw a hand go up. Yes, ma'am.
You can use parchment paper instead of
Parchment paper, you can. I assume. I never did before, but
Getting some good video
a little bit of that spray,
Getting
the
good video here.
non-flavored cooking spray. Spray it onto the pan, it works great.
I have a secret of making my own meatballs. I add a little soy sauce to it. Yeah.
It's a baby meatballs she's
Keep
making.
some, make it delicious. Yeah. Soy? Yeah, it gives it a nice taste. My mother loves my meatballs and soy sauce.
And we roll the meatballs just like this, like so. We bake them in the oven, and then that's pretty much it. I mean, you could eat them as is, you know, out of the oven, or you could put them in with the sauce. We have some sauce simmering here on the stove.
That's sauce or gravy, Johnny.
This would be sauce to me because there's no meat involved in
Okay.
it. I only call it gravy when there is meat. Meatball.
I always call it gravy.
She always calls, see, a lot of people say,
Yeah.
you can't call it gravy, only sauce. We actually had a debate about that about 2 years ago here, didn't we?
We did.
A little competition with Rain Rinaldi of Philadelphia with a meatball throwdown.
That is Yosa and Johnny Meatballs. That would be a
And I
great
won that
challenge.
throwdown.
Yes, yes.
Extra fun.
I must have missed that. I wasn't here for that.
It's called Gravy Wars.
I think you were here. I think you were on
Was
my
I?
video, actually.
I don't remember. I might have been, yeah. I try to be here for things like that. Yeah.
Sunday sauce.